Everyone, this is Doris from Renxin Company. This is our F105 control valves. Many Renxin valve users are very familiar about this valve. It is mainly applied in residential softener, but some new friends maybe don't know very much about it. Today, I'm going to make a brief introduction for you. F105 is an automatic softener valve with LCD screen. The interface is displayed in text, which is more simple and intuitive. We have 7 languages for optional, including Chinese, English, Spanish, French, Polish, and so on. Users can press middle 2 buttons to choose the needed language. Like all Renxin valves, it also adopts hermetic head faces structure, has good performance on wear resistance. But what are the most special functions which distinguish it from other valves? First, there are raw water bypass or without raw water bypass function during the regeneration for optional. It can easily achieved by changing the fixed disc. The second, there are downflow regeneration and upflow regeneration for optional. Upflow regeneration has a good advantage on saving water and salt. Third, refill the brine tank with soft water, which is beneficial to improve the regeneration effect. Fourth, mix the raw water by adjusting the bolt. As one of the control valves with most completed functions, F105 is usually used in water softeners. The following 5 functions are specially designed for F105 in the application of residential softeners. First one is the Brine Dry Mode function. Maybe some of you are curious about what is the Brine Dry Mode? That is, in service status, the softener will keep brine tank always dry. For the existing integrated type softener, the resin tank is put in the brine tank. In service status, it is not good for the resin tank to be soaked in the brine tank all the time. So the Brine Dry Mode is developed to prevent the tank to be soaked in the brine all the time, which causes resin tank or brine deterioration. The second one is the proportionally brine jaw and brine refill. Maybe this is quite a fresh concept for some of you. What is the proportionally brine jaw and brine refill? It means the valve will brine jaw and brine refill automatically according to the percentage of real capacity have been used and set total capacity, which could save water and salt. Several years ago, some customers suggested that the valve would be forced to regenerate automatically even if the water consumption is very small when they went out for the vacation or business, which was a waste of the salt. So we developed a salt absorption function based on this shortcoming. That is, the suggestion of feedback from customers is very important. So any advice from you are greatly welcomed. The third one is the vacation mode. It means when softener is off work for a long time, in order to prevent resin invalid and the generation of bacteria, the softener will draw brine into resin tank, making the resin soaked in the brine. The inlet water is turned off at the same time, which is a good way to prevent property damage to leaks. In the next, I'm going to show you how to enter the vacation mode. In service status, press the down button for 6 seconds. The valve will enter. After the motor runnings, the valve will enter the vacation mode. The whole process is brine refill firstly, and then enter the salt dissolving for 240 minutes. Then the valve will go into the brine dry status. The salt absorption time is set at 25% of the normal setting. After the brine dry, it will enter the closing status. The inlet water will be turned off. In this closing status, press the down buttons for 6 seconds. Then, after the motor runs, the valve will quit vacation mode. The fourth special function for this valve is Wi-Fi controlling. Wi-Fi is a modern technology. We also apply it on our valves to make our valve work more intelligent. Firstly, we need to download an application by scanning the QR code. Then logging the app. We can see some parameters of the valve on the phone. This one is the service, this one is the brine refill, and this one is the backwash, and this one is the brine and slow rings, and this symbol means the faster rings. I can press any single symbols to switch the status of the valve. Yes. Then the valve is automatically changed to brine refill status. We can also change the system language here. There are 7 languages you can see from the phone. They are Chinese, English, French, Spanish, and so on. Now the valve is changed the language into the English, so that we can use the phone to remotely inquire the status of the valve or operate the valve remotely. This valve also has foreground and background modes. On the foreground mode, there are several parameters. You can see that the first one is the set time of day, and this one is set the regeneration time. Next one is set the water hardness. Next is set the continuous water time. This one is set the peak flow rate for clothes. Because some families are very afraid of the financial loss caused by the water leakage. So this continuous water time and peak flow rate for the clothes, these 2 parameters are the very important parameters for water leakage protection. The first one is by setting the continuous water supply time. For example, if users set continuous water supply time as 1 hour, the valve will turn off the inlet water once the continuous water supply time exceeds 1 hour. Then if set the peak flow rate for clothes. If the pipeline suddenly bursts, then the peak flow rate will suddenly increase. If it exceeds set value, the valve will automatically close the water inlet. There are also background modes. We can set many parameters on the background mode, like the setting the valve model, set the language, set the flow rate unit, set the resin volume, set the brine DT job, set the backwash time, set the brine and slow rinse time, and set the brine refill time, set the faster rinse time. There are many different parameters for the manufacturers and the sellers to set. This can avoid the misoperation of the end users. Except the Wi-Fi version of F105, we also have a remote version. We can operate the valve just like a TV. It greatly breaks the limits of distance. Above all, that's the basic information about the F105. The F136 is a new product developed by Renxin this year. It has complete functions as F105, but it is equipped with 1-inch inlet and outlet, and the water treatment capacity can reach 5 cubic meters per hour, which can meet the larger flow rate of the users. So that's all of my introduction. Thank you very much.